proud of, because they're too busy going to jobs they're not crazy about. That's just the way it is.
Miles of pavement. Our star watch tonight, David West and Leonard Stokes, a couple of seniors respectively. Larry Conley, two pivotal players and veterans in this matchup and rivalry.
And Mark, really, David West, a candidate certainly for Player of the Year. For Stokes, an interesting player. He works both ends of the court. A good offensive player, their leading scorer, but also their best defender, who will have his hands full today with Romain Salto.
As if this rivalry wasn't heated enough earlier this week, Jason Maxiell, the forward for Cincinnati right there, number 54, had some rather interesting words about David West, saying, I'm a lot tougher than he is. I can tell you that. He gives up a lot and wants to go out on the perimeter and play out there. He doesn't like much contact. We'll see whether that bears to be true or not throughout the course of this evening, and we're underway.
I asked David West about that today before the game. I said, David, what do you think about that? He says, I'll let my actions say all I want to say.
Sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for. Here's West underneath. Rebound, Maxiell.
Well, a good start. Maxiell kind of backing up his words right there with a good, strong rebound.
Walker out top. There's Maxiell stepping outside.
Good man-to-man defense by Xavier. Both of these clubs love to play good, tough, toe-to-toe, nose-to-nose, man-to-man defense.
Stokes inside to Maxiell with a turnaround, and he's off the mark as well. So both central figures in the war of words missing their first field goal attempts. Here's West. Working inside, and he gets the second one to go. David West, who last year in this game was injured late in the first half and ended up with just 9 points.
And it was a blowout for Cincinnati. They win by 20 last year, and they certainly needed West in that second half. It was a good Cincinnati team last year.
Cincinnati won that game by 20 points. Out of bounds, it'll be Bearcat ball. Take a look at our starting lineups, Larry. When you go down the page, which of those matchups seems to be the most compelling?
Well, the big one is Stokes against Salto. You know, oftentimes in the media, we really try to hype situations where you've got man against man. Well, in this situation, it really is true, simply because Stokes plays such good defense, and he's a good offensive player, too.
Here he is, down in the box. Missing his first attempt, and a nice tip-up inside by Kareem Johnson. Rebounding a bit of a concern, Larry, for Cincinnati.
Well, it is, and I'll tell you what, it's the abyss for Cincinnati. They really have had so many problems in their center position this year. And so one thing that Bob Huggins has really struggled with, finding somebody to play in that middle.
West with a nice backdoor feed. Sato missing the layup. Maxiell with the rebound, and here comes Parker.
Well, Maxiell whipped off 2 good rebounds already.
Bob Huggins got after his team yesterday in practice.
Nothing new there.
Stokes driving to the cup, cut off nicely on the help defense. Outside, Williams missing.
Well, look at Maxiell, 3 rebounds already.
Stokes working the baseline. Leonard Stokes.
Good block.
Fouled by West.
Oh, boy, I thought he got all ball.
Looked clean from our vantage point. Thad Matta, the head coach of Xavier, in the official's ear on that one.
Yeah, he's in Donnie Gray's ear right now. Watch Stokes, watch this baseline move right here. Goes up, uses his body to kind of shield West away. And I guess oh, that's a lot of ball.
David West with a nice defensive effort. Picks up the foul nonetheless, which sends Stokes to the free throw line. 72% free throw shooter so far on the season. Can't talk enough, Larry, about how much veteran leadership means in a rivalry like this, the 70th edition of this game.
And Xavier really has more players who have played in this game than does Cincinnati. And the fact that they've got 3 key players out there, Salto and West, and a guy we're going to talk about a lot tonight, Lionel Chalmers, who I think is one of the most underrated guards in the country. He is an outstanding player. Put in 24 against Purdue this week.
Here comes Diedrich Finn, bringing it up court. Sato on the wing. Sato with that smooth jumper off the mark on his second attempt.
You know, Mark, he has really struggled in his last 2 games in the first half in both games.
Well, against Purdue, he went scoreless in the first 20 minutes. That was against a pretty stifling man-to-man defense inside. Williams couldn't find the handle, out of bounds. It'll be Xavier ball. Lionel Chalmers, good denied defense there. Bob Huggins in his 14th season at Cincinnati, and after about 5 years, he admits it took him that long to grasp the gravity of this rivalry.
You know, I got to tell you something. I've sat through a lot of Cincinnati practices. Yesterday was the most docile I've ever seen him. And he was still inflammatory.
You think that was docile?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, he had his heart attack back in August, and he's doing much, much better now.
Off glass, no good. They're going to wave it off and say that the foul occurred on the ground as Finn drove to the cup. Thad Matta, meanwhile, a second-year head coach at Xavier, last year's Atlantic 10 Coach of the Year. And he, too, took him a season to understand the intensity of this rivalry between the two crosstown schools. What a great year he had last year. 26-6, lost to Oklahoma. The Oklahoma team went to the Final Four last year. West out on the wing and a foul inside. It's against Max Seal. He was trying to root Anthony Miles out of the post, and Larry, that's one of the points of emphasis once again this year in college basketball. You know, and Xavier, and I will say this about Thad Matta's club too, he also has a problem with the center position, trying to find somebody in there to anchor this club. Both of these clubs kind of searching for somebody to put in the middle in that paint area. Underneath, and it's knocked away. Miles couldn't get the handle. Both these teams, as you mentioned, doing a center by committee. Cincinnati with a 1-point lead just underway here at the Shoemaker Center in Cincinnati, as the home team has lost 4 of the last 7 in this rivalry. There's Max Seal outside. Williams inside. A little jump hook off the mark by Kareem Johnson, and back comes West. Look at West handle the basketball. There's a guy 6'9", getting the rebound, making the pass, handling the ball. Miles inside with a baby hook shot, and it's good. Now that's just good play. I mean, there's David West getting his own rebound, bringing it down, making the pass inside, and he's getting the steal. There's another dimension he's added to his game. The full 94 feet, but he misses the layup. Back comes Stokes for Cincinnati. Xavier really focusing their defense on him. Stokes, a very good shooter. Out on the wing, Field Williams from downtown. Well, I tell you what, he's their best three-point shooter. He's shooting 40% now. In fact, 104 of his 124 field goals are threes in his career. Got to get out on him. Outside perimeter shooting, the bane of Cincinnati so far this season, looking for the one guy that can take them to that next level from outside. Williams might be it. Here's Sato from outside. Got it. That's a smooth stroke, right? Yeah, he really has a great stroke. He's a young man that grew up in Africa, came over here when he was about 15 years of age, and he has developed into being one of, I think, of the best players at his position in all of college basketball. He's very active. There's Stokes back for Cincinnati inside to Max Seal, working on West, and he walked with the ball. 15-14 to go here in the first half. We're going to call our first time out as Xavier leads 7-6. We'll be right back to the Crosstown Shootout.
In 1882, Jigoro Kano synthesized Jiu-Jitsu, art of gentleness, into Judo, way of gentleness or flexibility. For Kano, techniques of throwing and grappling would lead to the perfection of mind and body, which in turn would lead to developing qualities of respect and courtesy.
He was an educator. He was also a physical educator, interested in developing the body and developing the person through the physical realm.
Judo would become one of the first budos to combine self-development with a competitive element, making it one of the first martial sports.
Jigoro Kano knew that he could get far more participation by the masses in it if it was a credible sport, which it was.
To give his judo practitioners training goals, Jigoro Kano developed a unique ranking system involving colored belts. The system rated students in terms of class, or kyo, and grade, or dan.
So you went through steps, going from white belt to brown belt to black belt. Those steps in the old days took years. So to become a black belt was not an easy thing. It was like almost a lifetime commitment.
Virtually all Budo systems developing in the late 19th and early 20th century would adopt this rank structure. In 1922, Gichin Funakoshi, an Okinawan school teacher and karate expert, was invited to Tokyo by the Japanese Ministry of Education to give a demonstration. It proved to be he began to write them. He discussed technique and philosophy in Karate Do Kyohan, later translated into English by one of Funakoshi's last direct students.
Look at the jersey of the great Oscar Robertson, one of the many greats that have come through the gates here at the University of Cincinnati. We are back at the Shoemaker Center. I'm Mark Jones along with Larry Connolly and David West with a well-rounded game, Larry.
Yeah, watch this. Now, here he gets his rebound. 6'9", bringing it down, looking for somebody to open, drops it down on the inside. A terrific pass in there to Miles, and he lays it up. He gets the rebound. He handles the ball the length of the floor and gets the assist. This guy's got such a complete game. Their leading scorer, second leading rebounder, and a terrific passer.
Player of the Year candidate, David West, and here is Chalmers on the wing.
Cincinnati's gone to a zone defense.
West out to Chalmers.
You know, this might be part of what Bob Huggins saw in the Stanford game that Xavier had. Xavier really struggled against Stanford's zone out there, and might have been watching some tape and decided to go to a zone defense early here to maybe combat some of that inside work of Xavier's inside players.
Yeah, Cincinnati predominantly a man team. You don't see them go to a zone that frequently. There's Stokes on the wing. Seal working hard down low. Out to Williams. 15 on the shot clock. Boy, Xavier really packing it in. Williams from the baseline. Seal with the putback. He's already got 4 rebounds in this ball game, but on the move, it's Chalmers.
Oh, that's a bad shot.
Fires inside, and Miles walked with it. Chalmers a little bit quick on the trigger, folks. Tomorrow night on ESPN at 6 p.m. Join Reese Davis, Trev Alberts, and Mark May for the College Game Day Bowl Selection Special presented by Outback. Catch the first breakdown and analysis of each and every bowl game.
Speaking of bowls, how about the win by Cincinnati's Bearcats last night? They win, and they go to New Orleans for the bowl. Not the Sugar Bowl, the other bowl in New Orleans.
The basketball team all getting together last night and supporting their football counterparts.
Big win for them against East Carolina.
Got a kick ball. Actually, going to come back the other way to Xavier.
Got a foul. Somebody got a foul on the other side over there.
Dave Young coming into the ball game, meanwhile, for Xavier.
Oh, that's a second foul on Phil Williams. He's going to have to go to the bench now. That was an off-the-ball foul.
That takes away one of their perimeter players.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big problem for them because he is their best three-point shooter. And has been their leading scorer in the last 3 games. He's been averaging 18 a game in those last 3.
Chalmers over the midcourt line for Xavier. Musketeers with a 1-point lead.
It looks like they're in a 1-1-3 matchup. They kind of flex those guards out front. You can see right there Tony Bobbitt, who came in kind of in the middle there.
Dave Young off the mark. So Cincinnati zone last couple of times down the floor. Pretty effective.
Xavier still man-to-man.
Bobbitt in the ball game for Cincinnati. He too an outside shooter, and he pulls the trigger immediately. Sato with the rebound.
Sato's their leading rebounder at 6'4". The best rebounding guards in all of college basketball.
Outside Chalmers, and he has been the difference for Xavier in the last 3 games.
Now, Mark, think about this. You've got 2 seniors out there. You've got Chalmers, you've got West, you've got a junior in Salto, and a lot of good role players on this Xavier team. I'm telling you, this is going to be a good club all year long.
Ambushed earlier in the season out in Stanford, but that might be more of
an aberration.
Yeah, aberration than the norm. The traveling violation. Turnover against Cincinnati. Interesting about Chalmers and Leonard Stokes. The two of them, very good friends. They spoke frequently during the last couple of weeks heading up to this game. The two of them used to play their AAU ball together in Syracuse, New York. And they've got a vested interest, respectively, in the outcome of this one.
And he was also consulted a lot, I think, by David West when he was trying to make the decision about going to the NBA. Why not? Go to your friends.
The rest is history. West still in his Xavier uniform. Musketeers in the midst of a 6-0 run. Nice feed inside. And West converts off the feed from Chalmers. Chalmers has made a marked improvement this year in his decision-making. And Cincinnati down 6 points. Stokes. Bad shot that time by Barker. A little bit of contact. Barker not one to fire up many threes. And it's Xavier ball.
This pass down underneath. West right there to receive. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a laser. Chalmers showing his ability not only to shoot the basketball as he did early with that 3, but also to make a good hard pass inside to the interior players.
Averaging almost 5 assists per game. Here's Sato. Looking down low for West. West got a nice look and made it count. Got a nice soft touch.
Got a nice roll. Okay, Johnson did everything he could possibly do to him right there defensively, and he still was able to get the shot off.
West with a total of 6 points on 3 of 6 from the field. And Xavier in the midst of a nice run right now, 10-0. Stokes trying to snap it, but he can't. West with the rebound. And a foul underneath on Xavier. It's going to be Cincinnati ball when we come back, but David West showing his skills inside and outside. Right now, the game's leading scorer with 6 points. We'll be right back after this. All right, back here at the Shoemaker Center on the campus of the University of Cincinnati. The Wildcats in the midst of a 5-game, 14-day stretch. They'll get a week off before playing LaSalle next Saturday. Then it's against Oregon, ranked number 6, and then at Clemson on the 22nd.
Cincinnati will have a tough time against that Oregon club. I'm going to tell you, Ernie Kent has got a legitimate team to get to the Final Four this year. Got a couple of Lukes out there. Jackson and Rittenauer, and they're both outstanding players.
Love the way they run up and down the floor, frequently scoring in the 90s. Cincinnati trying to break out of an offensive drought. Here's Stokes on the baseline. Bearcats just 2 of 11 from the field so far. Maxiel down low. He hasn't scored yet. Here's Land from the foul line.
Salto, did you see him move over to get that rebound? I mean, he didn't just go straight up to get it. He went across the lane. Look at West.
And West missing the slam.
Embarrassing.
Stokes had it knocked away, but it will stay with the Bearcats. As Kareem Johnson checks back into the ball game for Cincinnati. Land comes out.
Watch David West right here, wide open. You know what? You just got to make it. It doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to end up in the bottom of the net.
Don't see that happen too often with the All-American. Bobbitt inside.
He is so active. He created that turnover. Almost got the steal.
And here's Chalmers back the other way for the Musketeers.
David West with an outstanding first half.
Cincinnati now, Larry, going back to its man-to-man defense.
Thad Mott immediately up, calling a play. Good back cut.
Nice feed to Young inside, and he's fouled by Bobbitt. But another great look by David West. David West, a triple threat every time he touches the ball.
Take a look right here. Now you're going to see West move out to the right side right here to receive this pass. But the big one is when he comes down. Now look here, stop right there. You see that back cut right there? That's what enabled him to get open, and Young received the pass from West, and it was a terrific pass from about 35 feet out to get the ball to him. Even though he didn't convert it, he was still able to draw the foul.
Young misses both free throws. Cincinnati with just 6 points in the ball game as we approach the midway point. And Bob Huggins voiced his concern prior to this game, saying perimeter shooting was one of their weaknesses, and so was ball handling. Both things proving to be true, and a turnover by the Bearcats. And folks, college basketball on ESPN continues tonight at 9. Number 1 Arizona Wildcats taking on San Diego State. Dave O'Brien and Bill Walton with the call now. Interesting family affair out there as Bill's son Luke plays for Arizona. His other son Chris is redshirting this year for San Diego State. And a look at Luke's numbers last season, Larry. I thought he was the best all-around player in college ball last season.
Mark, he was just terrific last year. This is a player that I think just gets better and better. He's going to be an awfully good pro, too.
Sato inside.
I think his dad was the finest college player I ever saw play.
Here's West. Under 10 minutes to go in the first half. David West spent a lot of time in the summer working on that jump shot.
What else is he going to do in this first half? He's done everything.
David West with 9 points in the ball game. And remember, folks, at the top of the show, we told you that Jason Maxiel said he's not as tough as I am. Well, so far, Maxiel's mouth has written a rubber check. It's bouncing. Stokes
can't deposit that check.
Bobbitt fouled on the three-point attempt by Young. And he'll go to the line for 3 free throws.
Go back and take a look again now. Good motion right here. Stokes coming across one side, handed it to Bobbitt. Just got him on the elbow as he went up for the shot. It's going to be 3.
That is Cincinnati's 3rd team foul. Probably one of the guys you would think that they would try and get untracked offensively, and that ends a 6-minute scoring drought, meanwhile, for Cincinnati.
The man has really bounced around a lot. He's played at a couple of junior colleges, ended up at the College of Southern Idaho out of Daytona Beach, Florida. Had a lot of tragedy in his life.
Young man dealing with it and able to move on.
He went to Mainland High School down in Daytona Beach, which is where Vince Carter went to high school. In fact, Carter kind of keeps in touch with him a little bit. For those of you who are not aware of the story, Tony Bobbitt's mother was murdered years ago, and he's overcome it. He really has, and it's been a difficult thing for him.
Bobbitt cashes in from the free throw line as Field Williams comes back in for him. Bobbitt goes to the bench with 3 points. But Cincinnati still trailing by 8, and this is the 70th edition of Xavier against Cincinnati. The crowd has been relatively quiet here in the first half.
Good reason for that. Xavier has just outplayed Cincinnati so far.
Johnson out top. Make that Jackson. Hands it off to Chalmers. 10 on the shot clock. Time to go. West down low, working on Flowers. Pass nicely out of the double team to Jackson. And almost chased down the rebound. Out of bounds, it'll be Cincinnati ball. Got a good look at the hoop, though, that time.
Mark, one of the things I think that has made a big difference in the Xavier team over the club that was there last year, and of course they won 26 games, is the fact that they've got a deeper bench. Last year, Thad Matta, when he looked down on that bench, he didn't have anybody to really go to help his team. This year, he's got several choices he can go down there. Lots of options to go with 3 really experienced players out on the floor.
Stokes bottled up, meanwhile, down low. Here's Williams. Parker from the baseline. Flowers with the rebound and the putback. Rod Flowers from Alabama working inside.
And they get this crowd aroused a little bit. They haven't had very much to cheer about.
Not at all. The deficit down to 6 points for the Bearcats. West for 3. And Xavier just a step quicker right now.
Good stay by Caudle. Yeah, Caudle with a nice move on the baseline coming up with that loose ball.
Chalmers out top. For 3. What do you think, a little quick, Larry?
A little bit quick. Cincinnati with a chance now. You feel a little momentum shift right now. See if they can get one here.
Parker into the paint. Tough pass. Flowers missed the jumper. Here comes Jackson. Cincinnati just a little bit off today. Chalmers out top.
Thad Matta once again off of the bench calling a play.
Jackson inside, couldn't get the handle. Would have had an easy layup. And it's out of bounds. Cincinnati ball after this timeout. Thad Matta's team, 26 wins a season ago, looking to replicate that success here tonight. We'll be back. Here at the Shoemaker Center, yeah, Danny Miller making his appearance. The Maryland transfer, Steve Blake doing a good job this year for the Terps. And Larry Connolly, so far in our game here, Xavier Cincinnati, very sloppy offensively. What do you attribute that to?
Well, a lot of it could be nervousness on the part of the Cincinnati players because there's so many guys who have not played in this game. For Xavier, it's a little bit different story. I think Cincinnati is struggling, too, principally because of Xavier's defense. I think they've been outstanding on defense.
Xavier said that as a team, the game against Purdue really helped them prepare for this Cincinnati matchup because Purdue a very physical team. Here's Williams from outside. Once again, Xavier with the board.
Cincinnati not shooting the ball well at all in this first half. Contributing factor, though, is the fact that Xavier's right in their face.
Sato on the baseline. Outside of the three-pointer that Sato hit earlier, he's been off the mark. But Cincinnati getting back to that point, they are just 3 of 16 from the field as Xavier is 7 of 19. Musketeers to inbound underneath.
Very little offense in this first half from either one of these teams.
Sato raising up and nailing the jumper.
You ever see a guy get so high on his jump shot? I mean, he gets up, he looks like he's about 35, 36 inches every time he goes up on it.
The 6'5" junior from the Central African Republic. Barker on the wing. As poorly as Cincinnati shooting, they're only down 8 points. Stokes inside. Maxiel with the turnaround.
Nice. Maxiel, a very strong inside scorer, and that's really the strength of his game. They need to try to get the ball more to him down in there, even though he's confronted against Will Cottle, who's a little bit bigger. Maxiel might have a little bit better advantage.
Maxiel, last year's Conference USA Freshman of the Year, and here's West on the baseline, fading away.
Hello.
Exuding confidence, Larry.
Is that a nice play? I mean, get it up, fade it away.
David West 5 of 10 from the field, a total of 11 points. And the game's leading scorer.
He's got several rebounds, too.
Cincinnati going to have to find some sort of answer to him. Barker missing inside.
There's another rebound for West.
David West with his third carry. Chalmers up court. Xavier very patient offensively here.
You know, Mark, one of the things that Cincinnati is struggling with is trying to find somebody to really pick up the offense on here. We've talked a great deal about Williams and Stokes. They don't have a Steve Logan around like they had the last several years, who basically was the guy that led this offense and controlled this team. I think Bob Huggins is trying to find somebody like him.
Williams from downtown. Stokes hustling for the rebound. Williams again for three.
There you go. That's what they're looking for.
Field Williams shooting 47% from downtown over the last 3 games.
That's a field of dreams for him when he's out there at that point. Cincinnati looking for a defensive stop right here. Xavier trying to maintain this offensive front.
West cut off. Forced one up and got it to fall. David West is feeling it right now. Call him the landlord because he's collecting rent down there, Larry.
He is indeed, and Cincinnati has no answer to him.
Up top it's Stokes.
Good job that time outside, shutting Williams down.
Maxiel might have been better off shooting it the first time. Gets called for the violation to travel. Folks, tonight on ABC at 8 Eastern, it's the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. Quentin Griffin and the Oklahoma Sooners taking on number 12 Colorado. That's the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship, the classic of college football. Number 9 Oklahoma with a bit of a late season slide. Getting upset against Texas A&M, things never quite the same for them after that. Cottle outside. West fouled underneath. I guess the approach might be for Bob Huggins, Larry. They got a lot of big guys. Got to use up some fouls on West. Time out of the action. The deficit 7 points, but David West, well, that's about as smooth as it gets, folks. We'll be back.
The playoff race. Good to see Heinrich back playing again. He's had some back problems, and I know Roy Williams really needs him in that lineup out there against that good Oregon team.
Get the feeling that Kansas might have been a little bit overrated at the start of the season, but back to David West. He has put on a virtual clinic defensively and offensively, Larry.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit of everything. I mean, he's got 13 points, and he's getting the points from just about everywhere on the floor. And the fact that he's passing the ball, handling the ball, rebounding, defending, yeah, he's had the best first half of anybody on this Xavier team.
Finn outside, 23-16, Xavier leading. 2 years ago when they played here, Xavier won a 2-point game. Foul underneath. It's against the Musketeers.
I think Salto's going to pick up the offensive foul.
Sato, his first personal foul. Foul's not a story so far in the ballgame. Xavier with 4, Cincinnati with 6. Neither team in the bonus yet.
Thad Matta went out and recruited this freshman guard that's in the game right now, Diedrich Fenn, and he really has helped Chalmers a lot. And what I mean by that is allowed Chalmers to go to that off guard where he could score a little bit more and not have the responsibility of handling the ball all the time. Fenn, an outstanding freshman. One of the 3 Hoosiers they've got on this Xavier team.
The state pretty well, obviously. Here's Stokes outside, 15 on shot clock. Field Williams still trying to feel it. Maxiel.
And we hadn't heard much from Maxiel for a while, except for the opening salvo, and now he's come back again.
Well, now his game is starting to talk a little bit. He has 8 rebounds and 4 points. The crowd here just waiting for a reason to make some noise. Inside, Miles, triple team. Forced one up. West got the rebound, and there's a foul against Xavier.
I think it's going to go against West.
That's his second personal foul.
They're going to say he pushed off underneath. He was going for the offensive rebound in amongst a lot of Cincinnati players. That's a tough call.
Going back to the quote about him not being as physical as Maxiel in the eyes of Maxiel, he has been physical today, David West. 5-point deficit.
And to Maxiel's credit, he's done a pretty good job underneath with those rebounds.
8 so far. Stokes, meanwhile, relatively quiet and conspicuous by his silence offensively. Team's leading scorer coming in, averaging about 16 a game. Barker missing badly from outside.
Good save underneath.
7 on the shot clock. And Stokes is fouled going to the bucket. Boy, Teron Barker not shooting the ball with any confidence, Larry.
No, he isn't. He's missed a couple of shots that they haven't even drawn irons. Crowd right now trying to get into this basketball game, and the Bearcats just won't let them.
Barker will inbound from underneath. Teron Barker, the team's point guard, doesn't lack for strength, though. Bench pressing over 350 pounds. That's almost twice his body weight.
Yeah, you know, this is a young man who was around last year, too, working against Steve Logan every day.
Williams from outside, still trying to find it.
Boy, he is really struggling.
Sato back the other way for the Musketeers. They lead by 5 points, under 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
Xavier continues to push the ball down the floor, but they don't get out of control. If they don't have the break, they come back out and go to their half-court game.
Sato on the baseline. Fading away and coming up short. Miles with a strong pull and a putback.
Boy, that was a good move in there by Anthony Miles, the junior college player out of Chicago.
He started against Purdue. Had 8 points in the first half. Since that time, he's been a different player offensively anyway. Lead back up to 7 points. Barker out front. Stokes finally scores his first bucket of the ball game. Stokes, 1 of 3.
They need Stokes to play. I mean, this is the guy who's averaging 16 a game. He's their leading scorer. He's been all but disappearing here in the first half.
And Thad Matta calling a timeout for Xavier. But Cincinnati shooting just 28%, but Larry trailing by just 5 points. That's pretty amazing. As poorly as they're playing, to be this close. I want to welcome those of you joining us at this moment who just finished watching the University of Miami Hurricanes defeat Virginia Tech. Miami on its way now to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl to take on Ohio State. I'm going to put you on the spot, partner. Who do you like in that game, Miami or Ohio State?
I must tell you that I have had a chance to see Miami play this year. I drove up to Knoxville, Tennessee, and saw Miami play Tennessee. And I thought it was the finest football team I had seen to that point. I still believe that. I think they've got the best club. I absolutely love McGahee, the running back. I think he is just awesome.
What a great story. He wasn't even supposed to be the starting tailback. It was actually supposed to be Frank Gore, but halftime back in the studio. Matt Weiner with the gang. Highlights from Kentucky against North Carolina. Michigan taking on number 3 Duke, and KU and Oregon. The rematch in a shootout so far, a high-scoring affair.
I'd be glad to contribute some words about Kentucky today if anybody wants to hear them.
They really put it on North Carolina.
Just joking.
We'll get to that. Traveling violation.
I like Matt Doherty an awful lot down there at North Carolina, and they're going to still be a pretty good basketball team, even though they've gotten hit pretty hard this week. Illinois and Kentucky, both of them have jumped them.
A couple of teams with some strength inside. That's why they struggle. Here's Barker out front. A chance for Cincinnati to cut the lead to 3. And a great block from the weak side by Sato. It's a 2-on win. Finn leading the way. Sato started it, but couldn't finish it. Bobbitt with the rebound.
Did he step out of bounds? No, it was a timeout. Coach Huggins wanted a timeout. Well, Mark, right there's a good example of what I'm talking about is when Xavier gets into that transition game. I mean, they pushed it hard, and there was nothing there. Even Finn, the freshman, said, look, let's back it out. They come, the little secondary break. Salto's there for the shot. It just didn't drop. Watch it again now, right? You'll see once they get the ball and go up the floor, they've got a 2-on-2 break. Saldo with a great block. Now look at this. They've got 2-on-2. Finn says, nope, I'll give it to the trailer. Salto was there. They just did not get the shot. But that's a good heads-up play. You don't put yourself in jeopardy by putting the ball in a position where you're going to lose it.
Hey, folks, more college basketball coming your way. Number 1, Arizona, the Wildcats, taking on San Diego State at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific, tonight on ESPN. It's a Walton family affair. Bill calling the game, his son Luke playing for Arizona, and Chris redshirting for San Diego State. And saw ESPN, the magazine, earlier this month, a very compelling and interesting article on the Walton family growing up in the San Diego area. Of course, with Bill, everything's interesting and compelling.
And has been for years.
20 seconds to go in the half. A 5-point Xavier lead, and this is the 70th edition of this matchup. Bob it out top. Bit of a mismatch on Miles. Crosses him up. It's nothing but glass. 4 on the game clock. Chalmers had it knocked away. Stokes. That pretty much signifies the first half for Cincinnati. Off the mark offensively, but for the Musketeers, David West, the All-American candidate, backing up his words with action. Xavier with the lead in the Crosstown shootout by 5. Right now, it's the ESPN halftime report. Back to Matt Weiner in the studio. Halftime, and it's 25-20 Xavier leading in this crosstown rivalry. A couple of schools, Larry, separated by just 3.5 miles of asphalt and pavement. But coming into this game, you know, David West trying to make up and atone for last year when he was injured, had only 9 points before leaving last year. He couldn't have written a better script so far.
I think Horace Greeley was right. He said, go West, young man, and that's exactly what Xavier has done. David West had a terrific first half, and why? Well, we'll show you why. Here's some of his work inside. That's one of his blocks defensively. Here he is from long range, shooting the 3. Then he goes back inside, a little stop and fake and a little juke action right there to get it up. Now watch him come back on the inside here and grab this rebound and haul it down, and he falls back away from the basket to make that one. 13 big points in that first half, and Mark, he was really the entire offense for both teams in this first half.
A very low-scoring first half. Cincinnati with just 20 points. As we look at our star watch, West 13-3, as we mentioned. Stokes just 3 points, but doing a pretty good defensive job on Romain Sato as we begin the second half here. Cincinnati down 5 with possession. Stokes on the wing.
Xavier opens up in a man-to-man defense once again. They were man-to-man the entire first half. Cincinnati did show us some zone on occasion.
Stokes out top. Parker working on Finn. Williams. West with the rebound.
He's that man again.
Cincinnati getting nothing inside. Outside of just one guy, and Sato off the mark.
They ought to give him 1 for that one just going down as deep as it did. That ball was about a third of the way down in the basket and came back out.
Parker on the wing.
Good screen and roll.
Maxfield from the baseline.
Yeah, nicely done. Maxfield came up, set the screen, rolled. They doubled up on the ball outside, leaving Maxfield open for about a 15-foot jump shot.
And there you see Huggins doesn't like a lot of guys to handle the ball except for his point guard, Teron Barker. Miles inside on the high-low with West, who pays it off.
Well, a nice pass by Miles, huh? A little lob pass up over the defender to make sure West catches it in the right position. You know, oftentimes when you make a pass, you got to make sure the guy catches it where he can do something with it. That was a good pass, and West took full advantage of it.
David West, the 2-time A-10 Player of the Year. Parker out front. Maxfield squaring up. Rebound, West. That's his 5th. West with a hop inside, and he's called for the travel. Take a look at our first half statistics. No one scoring off the bench from Xavier, but frankly, I don't think they needed it.
Well, they only had 4 guys score, and that was it. And, of course, most of those points, in fact, over 50% of them came from West.
Finn trying to stick Barker out top.
Got to set a 1-2-2 set down there. They're using the blocks and then flaring the guys out on the screens.
Stokes. Maxfield cut off nicely. A lot of contact, no call. Parker Rebound out of bounds. And it's Xavier ball.
Well, Barker is really struggling. I mean, even after he got that rebound, he had an open shot down underneath. The big guys did not challenge him, and he was still not able to get it to go down.
Kind of typical of Cincinnati's offensive struggles so far, shooting just 26% from the field.
You know, they've had some chances to really close this gap and get to Xavier. They just haven't been able to make the shots.
I think this is the quietest I've ever heard the Shoemaker Center, too, in years. Chalmers on the wing. Barker now on Sato. Nice high low West.
Oh, what a great touch pass by Miles.
The second time that those two have combined on a little high-low action, and the lead is up to 7 points.
Oh, that was a terrific pass.
That's basketball, folks. Passing, movement, and the payoff. Anthony Miles and David West making it count as Xavier leads by 7.
Make this flash into the post position, receiving this ball. Now, once he catches it, right there in the post, hold it. Watch the cut by David West to the inside. This is excellent movement of the basketball, and it's good looks inside. That is just absolutely textbook work. Nice pass inside by Anthony Miles, and a nice catch and finish in there by David West.
Cincinnati with a daunting task ahead, down by 7 points, but it feels like 17, Larry, and that kind of underlines the problems that Coach Huggins has had with his offense. He's tinkered with so many different sets this early in the season.
Well, the difficulty right now is them trying to find some chemistry. I think that's what they're struggling to find right now. They're really missing the shots badly.
Max Seal missing.
There's two right there that didn't even draw iron.
A couple of air balls for the Bearcats. There's Chalmers.
You know, Bob Huggins was complaining to us yesterday. He says this is one of the worst passing teams he's ever had. I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a team that doesn't shoot the ball very well, at least to this point.
Makes for a bad combination. A very long year, but Coach Huggins, when he is coaching basketball in the last 5 seasons, underneath David West has 19, and the meter is still running.
Well, the thing about David West is he gets his shots from everywhere. I mean, in the first half, we showed you his ability to go out and shoot from the three, his little movements. He can take it inside. Now he's got 3 baskets already in the second half, all of them inside.
Cross court to Stokes from outside. Rebound West. It's his 6th rebound.
Look at that crossover. Look at that crossover.
Had it partially blocked, and back comes Barker, but a nice move nonetheless.
I think Max Heel got a piece of that. That was a nice defensive play.
Williams has it rejected by West. He is playing like a man possessed today.
Well, he's a senior. You know, he knows he's not going to play in this game ever again. This is going to be it.
Playing in his last Crosstown shootout.
Well, they've had a lot of guys go through this game. In fact, they got a call from Sweden today. A guy by the name of Kevin Fry, who played here last year. He says, look, tell those guys to go out and play. I'll be listening on the internet. Can you believe that? A guy in Sweden?
That's a long way.
Listen.
That's a big fan. That's a passionate fan. And Brian Grant, formerly of Xavier, now with the Miami Heat. I'm a resident down in Miami, and I know that he's watching from his hotel room in Seattle right now. Inside, and a power move by Miles.
All right, now what's happening now is Cincinnati's absolutely getting mauled on the inside. Xavier has got nothing but inside baskets in the second half. Everything within about 3 feet. Defense breakdown, you get the ball inside to the people who can score.
That shows they're shooting about 45% from the field. Here's Barker from outside. Had a notion. Stokes cut off, but fouled going to the bucket. But Cincinnati very flat right now offensively. The Bearcats shooting just 1 of 9 this half, and Coach Huggins still trying to press the right button when we come back. A bit of a surprise there, and we are back at the Shoemaker Center, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm Mark Jones along with Larry Connolly. And this is the 70th edition of Xavier against Cincinnati in a game that so far has been marked by one man taking over for Xavier, that being David West, and Cincinnati poor shooting from the field.
Yeah, very poor shooting. Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with Notre Dame. This is one of the surprise teams, I think, in the early part of the season here. Miller's been a big part of that, too, the transfer from Maryland.
Just to see if the Terps can come back in that one. Certainly wouldn't have the motivation playing against their old teammate on the baseline. Nice move that time. by Armin Kirkland, a freshman, guy who is labeled with a lot of talent. 9-point lead for Xavier.
Cincinnati goes back to that zone defense. Huggins reaching down in his bag of tricks to find something to slow down Xavier. Probably a pretty good idea because they've been getting nailed on the inside. Are they going to get nailed again? Good block.
Kirkland coming up with a snuff that time. And Matt Seal with the loose ball, and he's fouled by West. For David West, that is his third personal foul. That raises the ire of the fans here at the sold-out Shoemaker Center.
You know, sometimes you just want to let a crowd just kind of sit there and not do too much. West may have inflamed them a little bit with this particular play. When he comes up, he looks like he's got his hand on the ball, but he's got more of the arm than he has of the ball.
He also inflamed some of the Cincinnati fans and players when, after last year's game, a remark came from him pretty much saying that had he not been injured, they would have won the game had he gotten his regular minutes.
All right, now it's up to the Bearcats to do something. Execute your plays, finish your plays.
Kirkland driving, cut off. Williams on the baseline.
There it is.
Three-pointer is good. The lead is down to 6. Cincinnati, amazingly, just kind of hanging around.
And that's dangerous. Xavier offense now, they still have no points from their bench.
Bearcats in their zone. Sato raising up for the jumper. Rebound, Max Seal. He's done a great job on the boards.
Yeah, he's going to be in double figures now, doesn't he?
That's his 12th. Nice flash to the post by Stokes.
How did he get that in there?
And here come the Bearcats. Larry, how long do you leave David West on the bench if you're Xavier?
Not very long. Maybe to the next TV timeout. Or they're going to take a timeout now, probably a 30.
The Bearcats stomping and making a little bit of noise. Well, folks, tomorrow night on ESPN at 6 p.m. Eastern, join Reese Davis, Trev Alberts, Mark May for the College Game Day Bowl Selection Special presented by Outback. Catch the first breakdown and analysis of each and every bowl game.
You had a lot of time with your college football this fall, didn't you? Huh?
Yeah, it's going to be some great matchups in those bowl games. And we spoke of David West and the injury last year. He left the game with just 9 points. Here's how the injury occurred at the end of the first half, right there, coming down on that right ankle. And after that, he was never the same.
Yeah, the difficulty with this team was last year, they really were very fragile. They could not afford to have anybody in that starting lineup go out. Right now, David West sitting on that bench with those 3 fouls. I doubt that Thad Mata is going to allow him to sit over there for very long.
Cincinnati in its zone defense. They're getting stung inside. Chalmers out top. A bomb by Finn is off the mark. And here comes Cincinnati with a chance to cut the lead to 2.
Xavier still in that man-to-man defense.
Kirkland driving to the bucket. You know, Larry, Kirkland has added a lot of energy off the bench since being inserted into the lineup.
Well, he has. You know, he had some limitations in his preseason practice this year. He was limited by a fractured jaw. And I think he's just now beginning to round around into shape. I mean, getting ready to play.
Anthony Coleman checking into the ball game for Xavier. Will Caudill coming out. David West still, meanwhile, on the bench.
Cincinnati has yet to commit a team foul in this half. That could be big.
Field Williams. And a lot of contact underneath. It's like we have a foul against Xavier, and it's Anthony Coleman who just checked into the ball game. His first personal. And that's the...
Donnie Gray, the official, what he is saying is what happened was that Caldwell simply grabbed him. No, Coleman grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him down.
14 foul for Xavier.
They're still trying to get into the paint area, trying to penetrate, trying to find those gaps.
Kirkland from outside. And Sato skies for the board. Now, who does Xavier go to with David West on the bench?
Great question. It's got to be Sato. It's got to be Chalmers. They're the two guys that have carried them offensively when West has been in trouble.
Really cheating towards Sato there on the baseline. They go inside to Miles, who spins. How did he find room? Out of bounds.
Got a foul.
It's against Cincinnati. It'll be Xavier ball underneath.
I think Kirkland picked that one up. Well, Sato went in there and battled with those guys. You got to remember, he's only 6'4". I mean, he's 210. But he's going in there against Max Seal, who's about 255. Kirkland's about 235. Doesn't bother him.
Yeah, doesn't lack the confidence in there.
Cincinnati stays in that zone.
There's Sato on the way. Miles with the rebound. Here's Barker. And a foul against Sato, who is diving for the loose ball.
He was just a little bit late getting there. Barker was on the floor first, and he jumped on top of him.
And a bit of a dilemma now for Thad Matta, the head coach, as Sato now has 3 personal fouls. We'll be right back. Marines, but more. What is Xavier going to do? Because Thad Matta, head coach, giving an earful to official Donnie Gray a few moments ago. The reason why, pretty obvious for Matta, because Sato diving on the ball here, got a piece, or more than a piece, of Teron Barker. Got whistled for his 3rd personal foul. David West, meanwhile, is checked back into the ball game for the Musketeers. Xavier has led virtually from the beginning.
He and Sato are the two guys they need in there offensively, and they've both got 3 fouls. They have to be a little bit careful here.
Kirkland from downtown. Went right to Stokes.
See, that time West was out on the floor guarding. Nobody in there to rebound. Sato didn't even put up a good effort.
The lead is down to 2.
Well, this zone defense has had an effect against Xavier.
So West steps in. David West says, I'm not going to do it inside. I'll just step out and face up. West with 21 points and 6 boards.
How about the 21 of the 35 belong to David West?
Kirkland out to Stokes.
He got away with a walk there.
Well, he took advantage of it. Leonard Stokes now going to work offensively in the second half with 9 points.
Cincinnati's going to stay with that zone at 2-3. The focus has to be on West. They've got to know where he is on the floor. Now they come out and let him handle it out top.
Sato flashing to the foul line, and a high arcing jumper falls.
How about that? The big guy delivering the ball to the guard or the wing player flashing into the post position.
Sato with 7 points. Well, Kirkland not shy.
Sato beginning to heat it up a little bit now. Good strong rebound that time.
Chalmers to West. Rebound, the smallest man on the floor, Teron Barker. Stokes. Leonard Stokes is a senior playing in his last Cross-City Shootout, and he wants to go home a winner in this one. He has 11 points.
Did very little in the first half, but he has been the offensive star in the second half.
Chalmers out top. Well, forced one up.
How about that for a tough move?
Lionel Chalmers went right over the top of Barker.
Well, Mark, that's why you have senior guards. That's why you have senior leadership. You've got guys out there who can make plays. Chalmers is one of those guys.
There's Stokes on the wing. Little ISO working on Sato.
Oh, that might have been close to goaltending.
The official was probably thinking it didn't have a chance. Huggins, meanwhile, calling for the foul. Finn. Kirkland with the pull. Team's going up and down now. Kirkland again, not shy at all. That might not have been the best shot selection for them.
West is over there telling Coach Hollis, Coach, I've got it under control. Just go ahead and sit down. West is going to go out and handle the ball out top again.
They hold up a sign that says Flair from the sidelines, and here's Sato. And he was fouled on the attempt.
Is that going to be a 3? He's going to get 3 shots out of this? Or are they going to say it?
I think they're holding up 3 fingers. It was on number 33, Kirkland.
Or are they going to say the foul occurred, I guess, before the shot? Go back and look at this tough shot by Chalmers right here. You can see Barker's all over him, stayed with him every step of the way, still didn't help him.
Lionel Chalmers really emerged last season as a leader on the team, made all A-10.
Still that 2-3 zone by Xavier, or by Cincinnati. Xavier trying to find an opening in that middle.
We're remarking we haven't seen Sato really go to the bucket much. It's been primarily a jump shooting.
Well, the zone really cuts it off. I mean, you just can't get in there because of guys coming over.
Chalmers. Rebound Bearcats. And a chance to cut the lead back to 2. Field Williams. Cincinnati going to be patient here. 15 on the shot clock. Inside they go. Couldn't get it to fall. Maxfield out of bounds. And a stomping Bob Huggins, imploring the referee to change the call. But it's like one of those traffic tickets that never works out your way, trying to grab his team's attention. When we come back.
Presentation of Inside is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com.
Kansas still trailing in Portland, taking on the Ducks of Oregon. Kirk Heinrich doing his part. Look at the move. That will not help the back. He gets the bucket and the foul, but Kansas still down by 7.
Well, a look at Bob Huggins on the sideline, still a picture of intensity. He's lost 25 pounds since his heart attack in late September, and actually 2 weeks to the day that he suffered the heart attack, he was back on the floor here at the Shoemaker Center for the opening practice, addressing his team as well as the fans. And he says he's getting a little bit more rest, Larry, and he certainly doesn't lack for intensity, though.
No, and that's not going to go away. You can't change the Tiger's spots, you know? I mean, it's just the way it is. And he is a Tiger on that sideline. He wants his club to play so well. He's so competitive. I just want him to be a little more careful.
Bob Huggins redefining tough love at times. Cross-court Chalmers. 15 on the shot clock. Bearcat zone has been relatively effective.
Pretty patient possession this time by Xavier.
6 on the shot clock. To West, 2 on the shot clock. Got it off. Williams with the rebound.
Not a good shot, not a good possession that time by Xavier.
It's a 4-point game. Leonard Stokes has done some good work offensively, primarily in the second half. He has 11. And not a wise foul out front by Chalmers, reaching in on Barker.
And the next foul that Xavier commits, Cincinnati will be in the 1-and-1, and Cincinnati still with only 2 team fouls in this half.
Under 7 minutes to go here in the second half. A couple of years ago, it was Xavier winning on this floor by 2 points. Last year, Cincinnati winning by 20. And the Bearcats coming into this one with a 20-game home court winning streak. Here's Stokes.
Saw a nice job staying with him.
Maxfield with the turnaround. West with his 9th rebound of the ball game.
Nice play. He tipped that ball to himself.
Sato finds one. Romain Sato, the junior out of Africa. And a timeout called by Cincinnati.
It's going to be a 30-second timeout. And Mark, one of the things that Bob Huggins right now, I know he's talking to his club about, listen, he said, in this zone defense, we've got to watch out for 3 guys. And the guy that just made the basket is one of the guys we've got to watch out for. Now look at this. He was on Hicks because Hicks didn't get over there. Look at 14 right in the middle. See? Somebody had to be over there in that corner watching Sato.
Sato, a relative newcomer still in the big picture, Larry, when you talk about basketball experience. Has only been playing the game for about 5 years. Folks, college basketball on ESPN concludes tonight at 9. Hassan Adams and Jason Gardner lead the #1 Arizona Wildcats against San Diego State. For more, log on to ESPN.com.
Well, you know, most of the players that come out of Africa or out of Europe are soccer players. I mean, basketball is not second nature to them like it is to us in this country. And a lot of them who come over here to play basketball have been soccer players.
Helps with the footwork. That's one of the common denominators you primarily see. Here's Stokes. Approaching 6 minutes to go in the ballgame. Williams on the ISO, cross court. 8 on the shot clock. Leonard Stokes had to force one up. And Kirkland got the rebound.
Yeah, he got a break. That ball bounced his way. It was going to come down the other side. It would have been West ball in his hands.
Deficit down to 5.
Cincinnati still in that zone. This has been the defense that has dominated the second half for the Bearcats.
David West running the baseline. Young out top.
It's a 2-3 matchup. Quickly covering West.
Young for 3 on the way. Barker with the rebound for the Bearcats. He had Kirkland, but it came to Williams. Out of bounds. It'll be Bearcat ball.
Good hustle down in the corner by Chalmers going after the basketball. Watch him sneak in from behind right here. Almost came up with that one. He could be a triple jump candidate right there.
There's Maxiel. Maxiel's been kind of quiet here in the second half. Williams, they switch it on the pick and roll.
Maxiel was open on the roll, too. They didn't get him the basketball.
Cincinnati once again, Larry, going deep into the shot clock. 9 on it. Kirkland. Boy, since making his first couple of shots, he has been ice cold. Chalmers back the other way for the Musketeers.
So now do they bring West back out again, or do they move him inside? They're going to move him down in the paint area. Instead, they're going to bring somebody else. Dave Young's going to come out and handle the ball. Now everybody's getting in their positions.
This really turned into a half-court game.
Oh, totally. Very little transition going on right now. Everybody's getting the ball and running the shot clock down to 0.
Chalmers for 3. Rebound Bearcats.
And not getting very good baskets.
Maxiel going up top to the elevator.
Now that was a good pass. Kirkland with a great delivery. What a catch in there by Maxiel.
The lead down to 3 as we approach 4 minutes to go. And what might not be a Picasso, but certainly another competitive game between crosstown rivals. Young. Rebound Barker. And a chance to climb to within 1. Or tie it on a 3. Stokes for the tie. And Barker snuck inside for the rebound. And he's fouled. And that is the 7th team foul against the Musketeers.
Go back and watch the pass by Kirkland right here. What a great catch by Maxiel. All that play is timing. You got to put it in the right position, and he did. You think he can get up? Not as high as Melvin Levitt, who used to play here, but still pretty high.
Williams will go to the line. Chance to cut the lead to just 1 point. Missing the front. Sato with the rebound. Another opportunity falling by the boards.
Well, Xavier walking the ball up the court now.
And a timeout, Musketeers. Padmata wants to talk this one over.
Interesting he took the timeout because we're in that zone to have a TV timeout.
One more look at that high handoff.
Look how high Jason Maxiel is up there. He's got to be, what, a full 14, 15 inches up when he catches that ball?
His elbows were level with the rim.
That's the way I used to do it.
Ah, Larry Conley. The truth comes out, huh? 42 to 39.
I wish that were true.
These two teams always look forward to this matchup, and two coaches firmly grasping the magnitude of it. Certainly the players, especially the freshmen for Cincinnati, if they didn't understand it coming into the game, they do now, Larry.
Well, they do, and you've got to give Cincinnati a lot of credit. They have hung in there. I mean, they got down by 8 in the second half, and they have fought back to get this game to where it's really competitive. It's only a 3-point deficit right now for the Bearcats.
The main player on the big stage today has been David West, the senior, with 21 points to go along with 9 rebounds. Xavier has won 4 of the last 6 battles between these two teams. Sato. And a foul on Field Williams before the shot. That is their 3rd team foul. Still not in the bonus. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, that place affectionately known as the Pit in Eugene, Oregon, and back here, the Shoemaker Center, an equally daunting place for visiting teams to come in and try and win. Cincinnati with a 20-game home win streak coming into this one. Look at that winning percentage, Larry, over the last 6 years.
Yeah, and 2 of those losses, and they've only lost 6 in the last 5 seasons, have come to Xavier.
Musketeers have led virtually from the beginning. Right now their lead down to a tenuous 3 points. Chalmers to inbound underneath the Cincinnati hoop.
I tell you, this zone defense has really caused problems for Xavier in the second half. Much like Stanford did to them out there when they played in the quarterfinal rounds of the preseason NIT.
West running the baseline. Tipped up and Fields comes up with it. Stokes, and he's stripped by Chalmers. It's a best friend against best friend thing. Stokes and Chalmers took it right from him. Well, Cincinnati's zone really active with those hands.
Well, and Xavier a little lackadaisical handling the basketball. I mean, you got to be crisp in your passes. You got to be direct. Show some confidence. Cincinnati right now has the better of it.
Cross court to Finn. Chalmers for 3 on the way. Tipped up twice. And Xavier gets it back.
Big break for Xavier right there.
Admana wants them to run a little bit of clock. Telling Chalmers pull it out. Finn. Tipped away. Finn with a nice ball fake and got the easy one.
They got another break. They came up with a loose ball on the right position on the floor, which allowed Finn to get to the inside and get up there with that basket. What a nice ball fake he made.
Larry, they burned up a lot of clock and got the deuce to pay off. The lead back up to 5 under 2 minutes to go. Stokes. Cincinnati's 20-game home court winning streak on the line. Stokes out top. 10 on the shot clock. Kirkland for 3. Got it back. Rebound. Wow. Missed again. And Miles is fouled. Miles with 8 rebounds in the ball game and getting a key one there. Here at the Shoemaker Center, Cincinnati, Ohio on campus. Number 16, Xavier, against the Bearcats. I'm Mark Jones along with Larry Conley. And this, the 70th edition of this rivalry. Xavier, the Musketeers, have led virtually from the opening tip behind a commanding performance. 21 points and 9 rebounds from David West, the senior.
Now Xavier's going to try to put it away. Run the shot clock, use as much time as they can. Once again, I bring up the fact that Cincinnati has only committed 14 fouls to this point.
Sato trying to put it away.
That's a push-off.
Stokes whistled for the foul. Leonard Stokes, another senior, with his first personal. That's the team 4th foul. Make that 5th.
West was in position to get another rebound right there, too. Probably a pretty good play by Stokes. At least it stops the clock. It gives them a chance to set their defense.
Sato out top.
They're going to run that clock.
Is this the point where you want to play the fouling game, Larry?
Yeah, you got to do it right now. I mean, there's no sense in waiting around. You got 49.4 left.
That's a 6-team foul for Cincinnati. Parker, meanwhile, with his second personal. Both teams with a full and a 30-second timeout, and that was the 7th Cincinnati team foul.
You know what? They went after the right guy, though. Anthony Miles, he is 0 for 3 from the free throw line this year.
Well, no better time for him to catch a little fire from the stripe, and he's certainly done a good job rebounding the basketball today. Miles with 8 boards, and a key one a few moments ago. But this is when times get a little tight. Testosterone levels really are put to the test.
Yeah, Miles now, chance to really do something big for his team right here. They got the right guy.
Cincinnati comes up with the rebound. It's a 5-point lead. And a timeout called by the Bearcats. And we're going to call a quick timeout, too. Plenty of basketball left, folks. Only a 5-point lead for Xavier when we return. Oh, and revisiting one of the scoring lines coming into the ball game, David West with 21 points and 9 rebounds. Jason Maxia, who said a couple of days ago, quoted as saying, "I'm a lot tougher than he is." Well, certainly some pretty good numbers, too, with 8 points and 13 pulls, Larry.
I'll tell you what, that's pretty balanced as far as I'm concerned. You got a guy who gets 13 rebounds for you in a game. You've done a terrific job. 8 points to go with that, but West has had the better of it from the offensive standpoint. Cincinnati needs a quick one.
Kirkland. Boy, Xavier calling for a double dribble on that one. Williams, meanwhile, hits the 3. The lead is down to 2.
You know what? I'm not too sure they're not right.
It wasn't pretty, Larry. I'm sure that's
unless somebody touched the ball.
Boy, that's going to be interesting in retrospect. Kirkland down low appeared to double dribble, unless, as you mentioned, Larry, it was knocked away. But Cincinnati calls its last timeout.
Let's go back and take a look at it again. Now watch Kirkland right here. He's got the ball. All right, now he's got possession. There was no dribble. He's got it. Now he puts it on the floor. You know what? I think he was fumbling the basketball. I don't think he had possession enough. And now I think it was slapped away from him to begin with.
2-point lead for the Musketeers when we come back.
James Bond knows exactly how he likes things to.
Set. Xavier leading by 2, and Xavier with a couple of timeouts remaining. Cincinnati out of timeouts, and the Musketeers with the possession arrow in their favor. Thad Mott a little bit upset about that last call, but the replay seemed to indicate that the referees were vindicated, Larry.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was touch. Watch again. You'll see Kirkland go down the lane with the basketball. See, it slapped right there. It's knocked away from him. He didn't actually gain control of it. Now, once he got it back, after it's been slapped away, he could put the ball back down on the floor again. Then they got a big 3 out of that.
Cincinnati with full court pressure here. West handling. And they foul Dave Young. Newcastle, Pennsylvania, one of the seniors in this rivalry. They're in the penalty. And Xavier will shoot. Don't forget, folks, coming up next at Sports Center, David Lloyd and John Buccigross in the studio. Miami stays unbeaten, going to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Kentucky, North Carolina, and the Army-Navy game.
It's going to be Dietrich Finn shooting the free throws. That was a big one.
And that was also the first one, Larry. First one for Xavier.
He's a free throw shooter. He's over 70% coming into the game.
Can you believe they've only gone to the line a total of 4 times today? Taking 4 free throws.
This one's big because it's a 2-possession game for Cincinnati.
And the true freshman nails both.
Good pressure right now. Eat up some clock. slow him down a little bit as they're bringing the ball up. Nice job by Young right there on Parker.
Here's Kirkland. Field Williams almost had another three, and West got the rebound, and that might do it for the Musketeers. David West, the central figure, central player in this drama today. And a battle between a couple of schools separated by about 3.5 miles, trying to put this one away for the Musketeers. It was David West who, after last year's loss, said, if I had played, it might have been a different outcome. Max Seal, meanwhile, on David West, had this to say, that basically I'm a lot tougher than him. He doesn't like contact, but those words might prove to be false if you look at the evidence of this game today.
Well, they both have had outstanding games today. Max Seal more on the glass, West more with his offensive glass work, and also his shooting from the outside.
David West with 22 points to go along with 10 rebounds. A senior who, in an impromptu moment at the team's annual wrap-up banquet last year, surprised his coach and his teammates and Xavier Musketeer fans by announcing that he would return for his senior season. And it's been all good for the Musketeers ever since.
And Mark, that is his, with that double-double, his 48th double-double of the year, of his career. I'm going to tell you what, that is an outstanding career.
Yeah, there are a lot of NBA scouts on hand today. Some representative of the Phoenix Suns along with the Miami Heat here, and several others watching David West. I think they'd like what they saw today, Larry.
Oh, absolutely. And why not? I mean, you got a guy out there who's 6'9", 240, who can handle it, who can pass it, who defends.
He's been as spicy and as hot as a bowl of Cincinnati chili. One of those things indigenous. This is the first rivalry game for me, Larry Conley. I've enjoyed everything.
Oh, it's been just a great day. Yeah, this town gets upside down when these two play.
It's a good thing. Stokes across the midcourt line. Not the easy one. Lead down to 4. Little did we know that coming into this game, both teams will struggle to get 50, and Sato will put this one away. A high-flying Romain Sato as Xavier snaps Cincinnati's 20-game home court winning streak in the Crosstown Shootout. Final thoughts, Larry?
Well, I just thought it was not the type of game we expected to see. I thought we'd see a game in the 60s or 70s today, but we saw a great individual performance from David West.
Cincinnati falls to 3-2 on the year. The Musketeers, meanwhile, improve to 3-1. Our final score, once again, the Musketeers over the Bearcats by a score of 50-44. Coming up next, Sports Center with David Lloyd and John Brucci-Grass. For Larry Connolly, I'm Mark Jones.